Breaker of this world's chain,
We adore thee,
whom all men love, spotless, taking man's form. O purifier, thou art above the gunas three, knowledge divine, not flesh, thou whom the cosmos wears, a diamond at its heart. Let us look deep in thine eyes, they are bright with the wisdom of God, that can wake us from Maya's spell. Let us hold fast to thy feet, treading the waves of the world to safety. O drunk with love, God drunken lover, in thee all paths of all yogas meet. Lord of the worlds, thou art ours, who wert born a child of our time, easy of access to us. O merciful, if we take any hold upon God in our prayer, it is by thy grace alone, since all thine austerities were practiced for our sake. How great was thy sacrifice, freely choosing thy birth in this prison, our iron age, to unchain us and set us free. Perfect, whom lust could not taint, nor passion nor gold draw near. O Master of all who renounce, fill our hearts full of love for thee. Thou hast finished with fear and with doubt, standing firm in the vision of God, refuge to all who have cast fame, fortune, and friends away. Without question thou shelterest us, and the world's great sea in its wrath seems shrunk to the puddle that fills the hoofprint in the clay. Speech cannot hold thee, nor mind, yet without thee we think not, nor speak. Love, who art partial to none, we are equal before thy sight. Taker away of our pain, we salute thee, though we are blind. Come to the heart's black cave, and illumine, thou light of the light.
Tava We celebrate today Swami Turiyananda's birthday. As a youth, one time, he was swimming in the river Ganga and he saw something floating near him. People on the banks of the river shouted, "Crocodile, crocodile! Leave the water quickly." The boy rushed towards the shore, but he stopped while still standing in knee-deep water and thought to himself, "What are you doing? You repeat day and night, so hum, I am he, I am he. Now, all of a sudden you forget your ideal and think you are the body. Shame on you." He immediately went back to the water and continued his swimming. Fortunately, and obviously, the crocodile had left. This boy was Harinath Chattopadhyay, who would later become Swami Turiyananda. He was born on January 3, 1863, in North Calcutta. His father was Chandranath Chattopadhyay, an Orthodox Brahmin. His mother, Prasannamai, died from a rabid jackal's bite while protecting him as a child. As a result, he was brought up by his sister-in-law. His father died when he was 12, while Harinath was weeping bitterly before his father's death. His sister asked the father to say some words of consolation to the young boy. The father said, "What is there to say? Hari belongs to the world and the world belongs to Hari." This prophecy came true. From his boyhood, Harinath was drawn to the Brahmin ideals of orthodoxy and tapasya, austerities. After he was initiated into the Gayatri Mantra during his sacred thread ceremony, he would bathe 3 times a day, practice japa and meditation regularly, sleep on the floor, and eat simple vegetarian food. He used to wrestle in a gymnasium and would do 100 push-ups and 500 knee bends at a stretch. Thus, he trained his physique so that it could bear the severe austerity in the future. Religion fascinated him. He was also interested in the study of the Upanishads, and he committed to memory the Chandi, Gita, Vivek Chudamani, and many mystical poetries of Tulsi Das. In his teenage years, Harinath befriended Gangadhar, who later became Swami Akhandananda. And once they went to a Sarva Mangala temple, which was also visited by Sri Ramakrishna. There was a holy man, and people had flocked to him to receive blessings. So one day, the holy man asked the boy, "What do you want?" "I want to practice spiritual disciplines and realize God," replied Harinath. The holy man was highly pleased. He said, "Wonderful! Surely you will succeed, my boy, but the time has not yet come." Harinath met Sri Ramakrishna for the first time at Dinanath Basu's house in Bagh Bazaar, Calcutta. He was then 13 or 14 years old. And he was impressed seeing Sri Ramakrishna. He says, the master appeared very thin. He had a shirt on and his cloth was secularly tied round his waist. One of his feet was on the upper steps of the carriage and the other was inside. He was in a semi-conscious state. When he got down, what a wonderful sight. There was an indescribable radiance over his face. I thought, I have heard from the scriptures about a great sage, Shukadev. Is he the same Shukadev? He met him for the first time after a couple of years, 3 years to be precise, at Dakshineshwar. And Sri Ramakrishna says that Sri Ramakrishna observed some auspicious signs on the young boy, and the master told him to come on weekdays when there would be not much people around. Young Harinath received specific instructions on meditation and other spiritual disciplines for the master. Sir, he asked Sri Ramakrishna one day, how does one become aware of the dawn of knowledge? Sri Ramakrishna replied, a person does not jump about when he gets illumination. Outwardly, the person remains as he or she is. But the entire perspective of the world changes. Like a true Vedantin, Harinath plunged into the study of Vedanta scriptures and discussions. As a result, he could not visit Sri Ramakrishna for some time. One time, Sri Ramakrishna said to him after a long absence of Harinath, he's saying, hello, I hear that nowadays you are studying and discussing the Vedanta philosophy. That's good, of course. But tell me, what is the teaching of Vedanta? Is it not that Brahman alone is real and the world unreal? Isn't that its substance? Or does it say something else? So why don't you give up the unreal and cling to the real? This was the turning point in Harinath's life. He realized that mere study and discussion would have no effect until he directly experienced the truth that Brahman alone is real. Turiyananda was one of the disciples where Sri Ramakrishna does not speak about his antecedents. Like the other disciples, he was one of the 7 sages, he was a companion of Sri Krishna, and he was an aspect of Radha. And that's the appeal. He just stuck to his sadhana with tremendous will, and he has become, for many, an ideal sadhaka, because the other guys already had antecedents. They were already equipped with a lot of energy and power. And here we find Turiyananda plowing along with only his orthodoxy and his dedication to the ideal. So he is more like us ordinary people. So after Sri Ramakrishna passed away, he went around the country practicing austerities, committing the Upanishads and Gita to memory. One day, he met Swami Vivekananda in Darjeeling. Swamiji said to now Turiyananda, Brother Hari, I have made a new path and opened it all. Up till now, it was thought that liberation could be attained only by meditation, repetition of God's names, scriptural discussions, and so on. Now, people, men and women, will attain liberation by doing the Lord's work. This was a kind of a big shock for Swami Turiyananda, because he had relied on the old ideas of liberation. And later on he says, if anyone does Swamiji's work for 3 days, not 3 days, 1 day, that person will be liberated. This path of action is not for everybody, of course. And so Turiyananda, he had his kind of reasons for not following this path, chalked out by Swami Vivekananda. So Swami Vivekananda one time, he clasped his brother Harinath and said, Brother, can't you see I have been laying down my life inch by inch? in fulfilling the mission of the Master till I am on the verge of death? Can you merely stand looking on and not come to my help by relieving me of the part of the great burden? This broke Swami Turiyananda's resistance. In June 1899, Turiyananda left for England and later the US with Vivekananda and his disciple Sister Nivedita. On the boat to England, Turiyananda asked Nivedita to teach him Western customs. She explained with an illustration. Picking up a knife, she held a sharp edge in her hand and gave the handle to Turiyananda, saying, Swami, whenever you give something to someone, always take the inconvenient and unpleasant side yourself and give the convenient and pleasant side to others. This was an eye-opener to Hari Maharaj. After visiting England, the two Swamis left for the US on 16th August 1899. Soon after their arrival in New York, they went to Ridgely Manor, the Leggett's family country home, where they rested for a few weeks. Then one day, Vivekananda told Turiyananda, Brother, I don't have any money. I'm going to San Francisco. Now you find a means to support yourself. This was a shock to Turiyananda as he was fresh from India. Swamiji told him, don't be frightened. When I say you have to conduct classes and lectures, whatever you say will do good to the people. Show them what true spirituality is. Turiyananda then moved to Mrs. Wheeler's residence in Montclair in New Jersey, 40 miles from New York, where there was a Vedanta center. From December 1899 to May 1900, Vivekananda had conducted Vedanta work extensively in California and founded the Vedanta Society in San Francisco. When the members requested a resident Swami, Swamiji promised that he would send Turiyananda to them. While leaving San Francisco, Vivekananda said to the Vedanta students, I have lectured to you on Vedanta. In Turiyananda, you will see Vedanta personified. He lives it every moment of his life. He is the ideal Hindu monk, and he will help you all live pure and holy lives. So in June 1900, he accepted the offer of traveling to the West Coast. He was hesitant. Swamiji had said, it is a will of the mother that you should take charge of the work there. Turiyananda jokingly remarked, rather, say it is your will. Certainly, you have not heard the mother communicate her will to you in that way. How can we hear the words of the mother? Swamiji became grave and says, yes, brother, and with great emotion, yes, the words of the mother can be heard as clearly as one hears one another. It only requires a fine nerve to hear the words of the mother. When Turiyananda finally agreed to come to the West Coast, Swamiji said, don't trouble yourself about lecturing. Just live the life, be an example to them, let them see how people of renunciation and spirituality live. So on 4th July 1900, Turiyananda, he left New York and he came to West Coast. Swamiji had said, go and establish the ashram in California, hoist the flag of Vedanta there. From this moment, destroy even the memory of India. Mother will do the rest. So he arrived in Los Angeles first in July 1900. He became the guest of Miss Book's sister in Alhambra and later went to the Mead sisters' house in Pasadena. After a couple of weeks, he moved to San Francisco, and he was received by all the students out there. And that was a great, you can say, chapter in Swami Turiyananda's life. His days at Shanti Ashrama and his giving classes at San Francisco. Sometimes Turiyananda would speak about Sri Ramakrishna's great love and childlike simplicity. One day he said in a hushed voice, "Once our master told us that he had disciples who spoke a different language, who had different customs, somewhere far in the west. They too will worship me," the master had said. "They are also mother's children. You are those mother's children," Turiyananda had said solemnly. "Mother has revealed this to me." Turiyananda, he suffered a great deal in physically in San Francisco, and he had to have a gallbladder operation. Knowing Turiyananda's poor health, Vivekananda wrote to the president of the society, San Francisco, asking him to send Turiyananda back to India. Turiyananda also expressed a desire to see Swamiji again. The society decided to give him a first-class passage to India, in the hope that a long sea voyage and his meeting with Swamiji would have a beneficial effect on his health. Gurudas, Swami Atulananda, writes about this period. He says, "One evening, just after dusk, when I entered a little cabin we shared together, the Swami told me of a vision he had. The Divine Mother had come to him and said, 'Remain in this Shanti Ashram.' But he had refused. Then she told him that if he stayed here in Shanti Ashram, the work would grow rapidly and that many beautiful buildings would be erected. Still he had refused. At last, she showed him the place full of disciples. 'Let me go to see Swamiji first,' he told the Divine Mother. And the mother, with grave countenance, vanished from his sight." On his return trip to India from San Francisco to Burma, it was uneventful. But there in Burma, Rangoon, he heard of Swami Vivekananda's passing away on July 4th, 1902. It was a terrible shock, and it completely changed his plans for future work. He decided that he would not return to the West, but instead would spend the remaining part of his life in meditation and austerity. Burning with renunciation, threw all his expensive clothes overboard and his precious watch along with it. He lost all interest in life and even about the bare necessities. He went to the Himalayas. In 1905, his health broke down because of his severe austerities. He had to leave there and come to Advaita Ashram at Mayavati, where he stayed a few months and regained his health. Then he visited Almora, Nainital, Haridwar, Rishikesh, and at last settled in Uttarkashi in 1906. There is heavy snowfall in that area, and the sadhus who lived there are compelled to go down to Rishikesh during that winter months. But Turiyananda decided to stay in Uttarkashi despite the cold and the snow. The Swami would arise at 3 in the morning to perform his morning ablutions. Then he would sit in meditation and be absorbed in meditation till noon. Afterwards, he took his bath in the cold river water, ate some rice and milk, his only meal of the day, and again would sit down to meditation till it was nightfall. He had many kinds of spiritual experiences when he had gone to Puri. He had established the ashram at Almora. He, along with Swami Shivananda, had established this Almora ashram. And after it was dedicated on May 22, 1916, his health broke down and he joined Swami Brahmananda in Puri. In Puri, he says, in the Jagannath temple at Puri, suddenly a sound came to my ears and my heart was filled with great joy. So much so that I felt like I was walking on air. The sound continued in various strains. My whole mind felt attracted. Then I remembered what I had read about the Anahata Dhvani. And I thought, it must be that. Another day, he had a vision of Swamiji merging into the ocean. Turiyananda had developed high diabetes and he was so ill, he was on the verge of death. Swamiji appeared to him in a vision and said, Hari Bhai, brother Hari, what are you doing? Your time has not yet come. Another time, Swami Turiyananda fell into a coma and the doctors had lost all hope. All of a sudden, he opened his eyes, looked at Swami Shankarananda, who was seated next to him, and said, I'm not going this time. The doctor did some surgery on his boils. Turiyananda recovered and returned to Calcutta. One time, an abscess formed on Turiyananda's leg, and a surgeon was consulted. He agreed to do the surgery, but pointed out that Turiyananda might become lame. When the Swami Turiyananda heard about it, he said, I don't want to live as an invalid, completely depending on others. If this is to be the case, I better die. The news reached Holy Mother. She sent a message to Turiyananda through her attendant. Why do you wish to give up the body? Being alive permits you to do the Master's work. Don't wish for death. Not now. On February 4th, 1919, Turiyananda left for Varanasi, the city of light, and lived there till the end of his life. During his last 3.5 years, the Swami inspired many monks and devotees. Many of his conversations are recorded and translated in Spiritual Talks. Swami Turiyananda passed away at 6:45 p.m. on July 21, 1922. The night before his death, he said to his attendants, tomorrow is the last day, tomorrow is the last day. Towards the end, he said, Om Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna. Then he asked his attendant to help him sit up. With folded hands, he saluted the Master and then drank a little holy water. He then summed up his life's experience. Everything is real. Brahman is real. The world is real. The world is established in Brahman. The life force is established in truth. Hail Ramakrishna, hail Ramakrishna. Say that he is the embodiment of truth, the embodiment of knowledge. He then recited the Upanishadic mantra along with Swami Akhandananda, who had arrived there. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahman is truth, knowledge and infinity. Slowly he closed his eyes and merged into Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna had once remarked about Turiyananda. He is from that transcendent region whence name and form are manufactured. He had also spoken about Turiyananda as the ideal monk as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.